You're listening to Your Purpose and Business podcast, where we connect you to possibilities. I'm your host, Raquel Walters, a two-time best-selling author, millennial speaker, corporate trainer, advocate, and clinical social worker at heart. Your Purpose and Business podcast will connect you with everyday successful people who will share their impactful stories, insights, challenges, failures, and triumphs on how they're navigating the working world, whether by climbing the 9-to-5 corporate ladder or starting, growing, and scaling their business. So grab your pen and notebook because you'll want to implement the nuggets and tools, strategies shared in every episode. Class is in session. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Your Purpose and Business podcast. And I'm so thrilled and honored to have my lovely guest on tonight, Carol Edwards. And before I let you know a little bit about Carol, I do want to say that you are in for a treat with this interview tonight. And I just want you to pay keen attention. I just want you to listen in and to follow her path, follow this journey in how it is she was able to navigate not only work, but also to start her transformational business. So, Carol Edwards is a mother, survivor, speaker, entrepreneur, and woman of God. She's also a purpose and confidence coach who serves clients from all walks of life as the CEO and visionary of Transform to Transform speaking and coaching services. Carol says we all experience adversity, whether it be in the form of divorce, separation, verbal and emotional abuse, abandonment, or in numerous other ways. Despite losing both parents and suddenly becoming a single mother in an unfamiliar country, her faith and her values kept her vision focused upward. That vision continues to propel her in her career, and today she is beyond thrilled to work with others through their journey of rediscovery. Carol, it is such a pleasure to have you on here today. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So, Carol, your bio is full. It is a lot mixed with inspiration, with challenges, with defeat, with sadness, but also with hope and faith. I am hearing
Yes.
through your bio. And so whatever it is that you wanna come on board with, what is on your heart? Just speak to us right now. I'm just gonna just let you speak from your heart.
All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. As you were saying, it's a little bit of everything. Sadness, happiness, joy. But I love that you ended it with hope. And because this is your purpose and business podcast, everything about my past and my story contributed to my businesses. Transformed to Transform speaking and coaching is just one of two businesses that I'm currently the CEO of. I partner with someone else for my second business, which is a clothing and apparel line called Purposed Apparel. Nice. Right? And I am the founder and co-owner of that business. But my baby is Transformed to Transform speaking and coaching. And mainly because it's because of my experiences, my own personal experiences of a failed marriage that contributed to this business venture, or businesses rather, but mainly my Transformed to Transform speaking and coaching. Literally, as the name states, I have been transformed to transform.
Awesome. I love it. I love the name of your company. And it's also interesting because I tend to ask a lot of my guests on here, if there was one thing that led them to their purpose, or a series of things that led them to their purpose. And it is typically a difficult question for a lot of people to say, okay, this is my purpose. But for you, it sounded like your life experiences had led you on this journey to, I don't know what if you're calling this your purpose now, but let me know.
My purpose is, without Transform to Transform, my purpose is speaking life into others. My purpose is to help others propel into their purposed place and their destinies. So having this business just contributed or pretty much tied in to what my purpose was, that speaking life and helping others transition from point A to point B. So I mean, Raquel, it has been to such a point where what I enjoyed ended up being or making room for me, in that I can now do it and help persons, not just that I enjoy it, but I can help them from a place of experience. Yeah.
Right, right. Awesome. I love that. And so, if you may let us in a little bit, Carol,
Mhm.
what was the point where you sort of had that aha moment, like Oprah like to say, that you realized that through your trials, or through your challenges, through the obstacles that you face, and how you were able to rise up beyond that. Let us in a little bit about what that looked like for you, the experience you went through, and how you sort of came up with this concept or idea of let me start helping others to transform their lives, thus leading you to calling your company Transform to Transform. That makes sense?
Yeah. All right. Let me just be as transparent as possible. Um, I have been married for, well, I my marriage ended shy of 6 years.
Mhm.
And this was someone I was with for 10 years, married for 6 of those years. And I have a beautiful child from that marriage. That's the fruit of that
Yeah.
marriage. And what happened, there was a breakdown. And when I say breakdown, I mean there was emotional and verbal abuse that contributed to the breakdown of the marriage.
Mhm.
And after that, it led to manipulation and control. No, because of the person I am, because of how I was raised, because of the fact that I am a woman of God, I'm a woman of faith, and I believe that I cannot do anything in and of myself, I was strong enough to leave. Not saying that I was strong even after I left and I was good and I was mentally there, but I
Mhm.
was strong, because a lot of women, we don't have the strength to move, to leave. We know we need to leave. We know there is something that needs to get done, but we don't have the strength or the drive to. And as a result, I got that strength because of the support system I had. And from that, when I left my marriage in 2017 of January, and it was an eye opener. I forgot who I was. I forgot what I enjoyed. I forgot what ticked me, what I was passionate about, what made me smile. I forgot Carol.
Mhm.
And in doing so, I started to do a self search. I
Mhm.
had to remind myself who I was before becoming a mom, before becoming a wife, before becoming somebody else's spouse. I had to find again who I was. And during that time, I spent a lot of time in prayer. And through prayer, that's how my name Transformed to Transform came about.
Wow.
Through prayer.
Mhm.
That was just the name that stood out in my spirit. That this process, this season that I am in, it's a season of transformation. And whatever it is that I was going through, I am being transformed, that I can transform other lives. And that's what drove me to transformation. And it was the process of getting there. And as it says, speaking and coaching. So I do motivational speaking. I speak into women, mainly women. That's my audience.
Mhm.
I believe as women that empowered women empower women.
Right.
And when we as women have overcome something, then we have to help each other or help someone else overcome their struggles. And that's exactly what I do through speaking and coaching women who are in similar situations, or just who are in situations that they feel stuck and they don't have the confidence or the mindset to leave, or think that they can leave and still become something and
Mhm.
still do something with their lives, because everything was tied to that person or relationship or marriage. And then it's hard to forget, to move on. It's hard to move on from familiar to unfamiliar. Safe
Right.
is normally the easier way.
Right.
So as a result, that's how the whole the whole precedence and framework of transformed to transform came about.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And for many of us millennials, as far as growing up, either from our parents or watching people around us or from the TV, social
Mm-hmm.
media, this whole idea of I have to be in a relationship in order to thrive, to feel good about myself. And this is not your story, of course, but thinking about millennials in the society that we're living in, a lot of people feel incomplete if they are
Mm-hmm.
not in a relationship, in
That's
a
true.
marriage, right? However, for those who have been able to find that partner that's going to respect them, love them, treat them well, you know what I mean, and vice
Yeah.
versa, that is
Mm-hmm.
great. But I do know that you have a story, and thank you so much for being vulnerable. But talk some more, Carol. For some reason this is in my spirit. Talk some more to those millennials who are in situations that is no longer serving them, but like you said, is scared
Mm-hmm.
of moving on, or trying to figure out, okay, how do I get some assistance, how do I get some help, some support, because maybe they don't know what that next step for them will look like. Speak to those people for me, please.
All right. So I would say to those persons, I would say to you, you're a millennial, you're listening to this, you are in a relationship, you, whether it be platonic or intimate, we have to identify healthy and toxic relationships. And I think that's the first place, to identify the relationship. Is the relationship serving you? Are you serving that relationship? Because the truth is, as you said, based on society, we're in relationships because of the tenure of the relationship, because we believe we've been in it long enough, we should stay in it. We look at it as an investment, and if it's not, you look at it as wasted years. So I'm with someone for 10, 15, 20 years. What's the point of leaving again? And because you're looking that you have invested all that time, walking away is like you're losing. But what really are you losing, especially if it's an unhealthy relationship, if it's a toxic relationship, if your peace of mind is just a memory? You don't know what it's like to be happy. You don't know what it's like to smile. And you're living a life based on a tenure of a relationship. I'm saying to you, millennials, if you're in such a position, whether, as I said, platonic or intimate, if you're in a position where the relationship is no longer serving you, then it's time to get out of it. And it's not that you're in a relationship for what it can give you, because it's a two-way street where both two persons are both contributing. But if it is that you are constantly pouring and nothing is pouring back into you, then eventually you're just an empty cup.
Right.
Eventually you're empty, right? So you cannot pour from an empty cup. And if something is taking and pulling from you, then eventually you are just a walking shell. You have nothing to give, and it affects those that are around you. So you may be thinking that you're in an unhealthy relationship and it's just affecting you and that other person, but then the attitude and the life and the vibe that you will give when you communicate with others, it will transition to them, and they will see it. So if you're in a toxic relationship and you're unhappy, naturally, when you speak to a friend, when you get upset with a friend, it has nothing to do with your relationship. It spills over. You shout, you get angry, you're always mad, you're always upset. And you have to realize that, no, it's no longer serving me. It's allowing me to cause hurt and pain to those around me. And I want you to understand that even if it is that you love this person, because that's what we will do, say we love, right? And at the end of the day, if they don't love you back, then what point is it? And love is not just love. Love is not just what I get, but it's a natural feeling.
Right.
It's not loving me through flowers and what you can give me and the money and the bank account, because the truth is you can have that all. I was in a stable marriage. I was in a successful career. My ex-husband was in a successful career. We were okay as two young people.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was supposed to just look at that, then Carol would not be. Transformed to transform would not be. Re-Empire Incorporation would not be, because then I would be settling for something that I think there was no more.
Mm-hmm.
I am saying to you that there is more, especially if you are confident, because at the end of the day, we have an intuition. What we call intuition, I call the Holy Spirit.
Right.
We have an intuition that we know that something is wrong and there is more to life than this. So if you're in an unhealthy relationship, if you're in an abusive relationship, a toxic relationship, whatever it is, and you know within yourself that you deserve more and you want to get out, it first starts with acceptance and identifying that there is a problem, and ask yourself some pertinent questions. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? Are you going to constantly mope and complain about him or her being, abusive and making you unhappy? What are you going to do about it? Talking about it by itself doesn't justify or solve anything.
Right. And there you have it. That's Coach Carol right there. But Carol, even taking this further, what are some of the steps that you could lend to persons who may be in that situation? And like you said, whether it is intimate or if it's a non-intimate relationship, what can
the steps, definitely. The steps are, first, you need to find someone to trust. And I deliberately say someone and not people. I say someone, that means one person. Because when you're going through a season of life, while others may be sensitized and kind of have an idea of what's happening, you need one person to know the details. You need one person to know exactly what happens on a given day. When you're explaining yourself that this is the situation, this is what's happening within my home, within my mind, within my heart. And you find that person to confide in. Your accountability person. And you're wondering, accountability for what? To what? Now, if you are constantly coming, if I am that person in someone's life and they will come to me and say, Carol, I don't like the way my husband speaks to me. It's bothering me. I, Carol, will listen to you and I will say to you, Raquel, then what do you do? When he speaks to you and you feel this way, what do you do about it? And you say to me, I really don't know what to do. I feel like I'm so defeated. It's like I feel so strong when he's not around, and the moment he comes in, I'm all weak again. Now, as a support system, we can help each other navigate through that. And I would say, all right, now, every time he speaks to you, start with no. Start with no. Find something, not a sentence, not a word. Say no. No. And maybe you don't say, no, do not speak to me that way, but you start with a no. And then I say to you the next time when you tell me, I said, did you say no? And you said, next time, say no. Next time you say, no, do not speak to me that way. And we're taking our time. And while we're doing this, if we see that the situation is becoming intense, then we need to seek external help, whether it be a therapist or a coach or a counselor, or whatever it is, dependent on the situation. And that is why the someone is important. The someone is not someone to be telling you, oh, leave him, oh, cheat on him, oh, do this. You need a positive support system, a constructive support system, not just to tell a friend, just to gossip about and for them to sit and make it a community project. It's something that you need to find somebody that really cares about you, cares about the affairs of your well-being, your heart, and everything about you, that they can say, all right, this is where you're at. I think we need to get you into counseling. I think you need to talk to someone. I know you talked to me, but I think you need professional help. I think you need somebody that will speak life into you and help you through that, not somebody that will tear you down, tear down your spouse, tear down the other person. You need somebody that will speak constructive life into you.
Right. I love all of that, Carol, and I plus everything that you're saying. And even when you're saying no, that's a way of creating boundaries, new boundaries. So I love that. So for Carol, for persons who have a story to tell, have gone through some things, experiences that they know that others can learn from, and they have this entrepreneurial spirit in order to turn this into a career and to get paid by helping to transform other person's lives. For you, how difficult was it, or maybe it wasn't, when you started to navigate all of this and trying to put this puzzle together in terms of this business idea, this business concept, and putting it to the test? I mean, if you could let persons in a little bit about, okay, I know I have experience, I know how I can be of value and service to others, but now how can I create an income stream from it for myself, and how do I go about doing this? So I know it's a loaded question, but sort of take that person through the journey, if you may, to tell about your experience in building up your business.
All right, to be honest, let me, in the beginning, I didn't know it would come to this. I didn't know I would have a fruitful business. I didn't know it would be a business, so to speak.
Yes.
But what I started doing, to be honest, I'm going to just be honest with you, it was therapy for me. So how I started with an Instagram page. I didn't have my face there. I didn't have anything. I just started with quotes that were from me. And no one knew who I was because it was just quotes. When you go to the page, it would be just quotes. And it was just therapeutic for me at that time. And while doing that, I realized that I was helping other persons through my therapy, through my posts, through my quotes. And I had persons reaching out to me and like, oh my gosh, this really spoke to me. And, I would message them within the inbox, and we just kept it like that. And after a while, like I started, I had about 3 speaking engagements that were speaking to women. And I think someone who have known my story just asked, you're young, would you like to share your story on being married young and, your marriage failing and stuff like that? And I realized at the end of it, the traction that I got, the persons that were reaching out to me, and I realized that I needed a me when I was going through what I was going through.
Wow.
I needed a me. What I do for women, what I do for others. If I had that when I was going through what I was going through, I'm not saying I know I would be in a better place, or even sooner I would have been in a better place. And as a result, I started going to pen to paper, and I started looking at the questions that persons would have asked me, what it is that they say they needed from me. And I reached back out to all of those persons what was it that drew you to me? What was it that made you send me that message on this particular date? And I would screenshot it and I would send it. And I asked, how do you see me? How could I be of service? Would you pay for what I do? Would you pay for my services? And those are the questions I started asking. And when the responses that I was getting, I was like, cool. Okay. And for me, I kind of didn't want to use the word coach because I'm thinking, oh, everybody's a coach, and after a while, but it is in truth and in essence of what I do. Right. I tell my clients, I don't tell you what to do. I help you through the process of what to do. And exactly that's what a coach is. I will give you the process. I will give you the tools. I will give you the techniques. I will give you the tips. But at the end of the day, you still have to do the work.
Right.
And I will hold you accountable to doing the work. And that's how I started putting pen to paper. I started researching, finding out, trying to figure out what is it that I'm really doing. And of course, it came from the name of my business. I am a transformation coach. I help people with change. I help people to move from one point to another in their confidence and in their mindset. And that is exactly what I do. A transformation coach specializing in confidence and mindset coaching. Confidence because you need that to get out of the relationship and that toxic environment that you're in. And it has a mindset. It's a framework of the mind that you have to train yourself daily. It's not something that, okay, I'm going to leave and tomorrow I'm going to leave. So I have clients where I have to look at the situation. Are you with children? Are you young? And, okay, you can't just up and leave. Where will you live? Where will you go? What is your support system like? Look at a framework. How are we going to move from this? If you leave next month, How much money do you have stored up? What are the plans? So these are the questions that I will help you. I'm not going to come and, oh, you need to leave, because we have to have a plan of action.
Yes.
You cannot just use emotions and leave. And because of those things, and as I realized I started doing, I realized that there was a fruit. There was a fruit bearing from my labor. And I decided, and I went ahead and I started researching. I started doing a lot of personal development, getting certified with Transformation Academy, and doing a lot of webinars, watching a lot of webinars, paying for a lot of webinars, paying for a lot of coaching programs. And I invested in me that I can be of better and greater value to my clients. And as a result, that's how I started. I registered my business, and I did my website, got my business cards, started to look the part, started to even, just dress up. Even when I didn't have a call, I didn't have a coaching call. I just started dressing up. I started, believing it, speaking it. And in due time, in the early days, it was very slow. The truth is, you're thinking, who's going to pay money for you to tell them something? Because that's what it is. The persons are like, you pay money to go to a therapist, you pay money to go to a counselor. Right. Who's going to pay a coach, And there were little deterrents in my mind, but then I pushed forward and I did it, and I am truly happy. It's not where I want it to be, but it's definitely not where I started.
Absolutely. And you drop so many gems and nuggets right there, because oftentimes when we have our listeners wanting, if they're at that stage that they know that they have a gift inside them, and they have experience, or they have knowledge on how it is that they can serve. A lot of times it's by accident, so to speak. And this is just generalizing now, by accident, so to speak, that they come upon a challenge and they're able to work themselves through that challenge and rise up beyond it, and saying to themselves, if I was able to help myself, or I was able to, help this person, then I know that I can help others. And so I loved your message here, and your story, I should say, where you started going back and asking persons who reached out to you about your quotes, what was it about my quotes that attracted you to me, and how it is that I can help you further. And in the business world, this is called market research. That's what you were doing. Researching the market, researching a need, and you have solutions to solve that need that the person had, right? And so you even went further to test it out. But again, you said there were fears that were there about this whole title of coach, when in actuality, if you even looked at the successful people that have gone before us, many of them have coaches and mentors for all different areas of their lives. And I like the fact that you said if persons out there can pay money for a therapist, for a counselor, to their pastor for counseling, why not pay a coach who has the expertise in the area that you're dealing with? So I love that. So those are recipes in order to build your business. And you were able to do so to serve your clients. So tell us, Carol, what are some of the programs that you have available to the women that you serve right now? And you can talk about if there's any upcoming program or any recurrent programs that you have going on right now, and how these persons can tap in.
Okay, so currently I recently launched a 6-module course titled Lessons for a Better You. Nice. You can find it on my website. Actually, module 1 is for free. Module 1 is for free, so you can go and grab your module 1 at my website at www.transformed2transform.com. You can go there and you can find it there. I also have my packages. You can just go to my website. You'll see the packages that I offer. And when you sign up with me for one of my coaching packages, you'll get a free purposed apparel t-shirt saying Transformed to Transform. It's to let you know that you have finished the sessions, you have finished whatever. Some sessions are 3 sessions and 6 sessions, dependent on which one it is. Then you'll get your free t-shirt saying that I have been transformed to transform. And when I transform you, I'm expecting you to pay it forward to help someone else. It doesn't stay with you. It's just for you to move forward. So everything that you need is on my website. My services, I do speaking engagements, I do mentorship, and I coach. So everything that you need is on my website. And you can find me on Instagram at transform with coach C _.
I love it. I love it. And so, Carol, is there anything that you would want to share with us, regarding yourself, how it is that you set yourself up for your day when it is that you are feeling low energy, feeling low? Are there any routines or rituals that you have that you practice?
I'm happy you asked that question because pretty recently my life has changed. My routine have changed because my son has been living with me now for a few months, about 5 months now, because he was in Jamaica, right? And I was here in Canada, and he moved permanently now to live with me. So you know that
congratulations.
Thank you. That changes everything. That changes everything from the wake up time to the bedtime to you have more stuff to do. You have a 6-year-old. I mean,
yes.
You know, it's a bit different. So I normally start my day presently. What's happening, because I do have a day job still that I have to balance. The beauty is that I'm working from home now, so that isn't too bad. But I have to wake up. I have to prepare his breakfast. I have to pack his lunch for school. I have to give him some time to wake up. Wake him up. Let him, get ready, because it take a while to get up. And then I have to allow him to eat. Then I go back, get his stuff ready, get him ready for school. Then I'll have to take him to school, ensure I have to get back home by 8 o'clock for work. And so what I do, I take him to a daycare that I pay for before and after care.
Okay.
So they will take him to school for me, and they will get him, and I'll just go and get him back. During the days now, I'm doing my day job. My day job ends at 4:30. Well, on the clock 4:30, but I still have stuff to do. And then I'll have to time in my coaching calls or anything, mostly on the weekends, or probably 7:30 at night. And I have to ensure that my son is asleep or distracted or something while I do that. And it's just a way of creating balance.
Right.
I have to create balance. And if it's something that you need and it's something that you love, and that's the beauty about it, if it's something that you love, you'll put the work in, and you're passionate about, you'll make time. They have a saying, you make time for the things you care about and for the things you want. And as I said, transform speaking and coaching is my baby. I am passionate about it. I love what I do. I love empowering. I love transforming lives. I love seeing the change and the look on my client's face when it's like the light bulb went off, like, seriously, where were you? And I'm loving that. So I'm putting the work. And of course, it's the intention that I will do it full time. But of course, without a plan, you have to plan. Just as I tell my clients, you have to plan. You can't just up and leave. I still have bills that I need to know are taken care of, and just to ensure as I build. So what I do, my day job helps to supplement my coaching business until I can. So that's what's happening.
I love it, Carol. I love it. And thank you so much for being on here, for being transparent, for sharing your life with us, and helping many persons who will be listening to this interview, giving them hope, giving them faith, giving them a renewed belief that they too can rise up beyond whatever it is that is going on in their individual lives. And if it's that you aspire to become an entrepreneur, definitely you can do it. Definitely
do it.
You can do it. And so thank you so much, Carol, for being on the Your Purpose and Business podcast. It's a pleasure. And
thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. And as always, guys, be good to yourself, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening. If you've loved this episode, let's stay in touch. Head over to RaquelWalters.com and subscribe to my email list so that I can send you updates on new episodes, exclusive motivational nuggets, and insider knowledge that's only shared when you join our community. Please don't forget to subscribe to this podcast and leave a review, as I want to know your thoughts about every episode. Follow me on Instagram at Your Purpose and Business Podcast. And remember, your life is beautiful, and this is a part of your journey. So embrace it. Speak to you soon.